Welcome back to the Nerd SMP. Today we are in the southeast area of the map in the town of Octo Isle. This town is all Mediterranean style builds with large manor houses, vineyards, and a beautiful town area with townhome style of builds. Cujo invited me to come down here, and I've selected my spot up on this hill overlooking the town and the gardens. I think it's going to be a great spot for a cute little build. So what I'll need to do now is gather up some materials, and then we can think about how we want to design our build. So let's take a look at some of the other builds in this area to see what the common themes are of how people are picking their building materials and their build style. So if we look at many of the houses, they have a lighter color in their walls and then a darker color on their trim. And the roofs tend to be flatter instead of a tall peaked roof. There's still a few exceptions here and there, but for the most part, things are lighter color walls, darker color, higher contrast details, and then a flatter roof. So I think we have a good idea of what kind of style we need to do. Let's take a look at our materials. I went ahead and gathered a few things up. So here is what I'm thinking. We'll use some terracotta and I think some mud bricks as well, along with some spruce. So if we take a look, now that part is a little darker, but I see some builds using it, and the yellow is also in use in places. I think that'll be good. Those will be good colors to work with. And then the mud bricks are in use in a lot of places too. And of course some spruce. I think that will all go together really well. So let's get back over to our area and we can start building. Okay, so here we are back at our build site, and if you see up on the top of my screen, there is a wither around here. Apparently there's a wither farm somewhere over in that hill, and you occasionally do hear some explosions, but that's okay. This is where I'm going to build our little house. Now I have to figure out how to incorporate this hillside into it. I think we'll take up this flat area. And then there's also this cavern over here. I don't know if we'll incorporate any of that, but I think it's time to start laying out some blocks and see how big we want our build and what kind of shape we're going to work with. So let's get started on that. So I'm taking a look at the roof options, and I have some spruce and some bricks up there, but I'm not sure. If I look at the other buildings, they have a much higher contrast, so they have a darker roof and lighter walls. So even this one over here, let me get over here, it's not as high of contrast, but it's still a much darker roof than the walls. But if I look at what I picked out, I don't think the contrast is great enough. So I'm going to try some dark oak instead and see if that will work better for this. Yeah, we're going to have to try something a little different. Let's give it a try. All right, so the build's coming along pretty good. I do like the darker wood against the yellow and the green. I think you can see it better and it's just a nice contrast. Now I am going to go up here and take another look from up here. And I think the roof design is going well. It's a little shallower roof, so not a high peaked roof. Everything's looking pretty good here. Let's go down and look at the patio. I like the patio. I added that in. The higher side over on this yellow side of the building just looked a little too plain. So I added in a little overhang so we can have a little patio back here. That did mean I needed to put some retaining walls up to kind of give us more space back here, but I like that. Now I can put in some flower pots and that kind of thing. I'm really ready to start decorating. So everything here is looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and start doing out some decorations, and then I'll come back. I think in the meantime, though, I need to figure out what do I want to draw. So here's an interesting thing when I'm figuring something out of what to draw for each episode. I can either do something bigger, like a landscape view, like looking over this. I can do something like a house, so I could draw the whole house, or I could even do something smaller, a little vignette, like on my patio. I could put a little table here and a flower pot and just draw that. So it's a lot to think about and consider, and it's a whole different opportunity to express yourself. I love being able to look at those things and figure out something fun to draw. So let's go take a look at that too, and then I'll come back once I have things kind of decorated up here. So coming into our sketch, I looked at different ideas of maybe a landscape or a smaller piece, but I always come back to the houses. I just love drawing houses and drawing all the little details. Even outside of Minecraft, I draw a lot of houses. So in my sketch today, I've been trying to figure out the best brushes to use, because a lot of the brushes, it's hard to go in between watercolor, which is what I do on my long play videos, and then these digital pieces. I'm trying to find the right brushes that are giving me the look that I want, especially in the coloring. I think my line work is doing pretty good. I do like the line work on these, but I'm still exploring the brushes to get the right level of texture and the right level of control with the colors. So I had a lot of fun with this piece, but it's still, a work in progress. And there's our finished drawing for today. So I finished up with all my decorations, so let's go take a look. Okay, let's head on out and I'll show you the outside. It's raining again. It seems to be so common that when I log in, it's either nighttime or raining or both. It can be both. But here's our finished build. I finished all the decorations and added a lot of greenery to the outside here and some vines coming up. That's some lichen, but kind of looks like vines without having the vines just keep growing and taking over. So I kind of like that look of things. And I love how the build turned out. It's so cute. Let's go take a look at the inside. So if we take a look at the front here, I've added the path to get to the other areas of the town. And coming in from the path, there's a lot of greenery and little details that I like. One thing I like to do with bamboo is to put it under an overhang. Both of these are under an overhang, and that way it limits the growth and you get to get the top of the bamboo, which has such fun little greenery details to it. I really like the look of it. And we have some shutters and all kinds of little plants around. And as I said, the vines growing up. And let's take a look inside. So when we come in, we have our little kitchen area, and this is kind of like a cooktop. And the art is perfect for it, and all kinds of flower pots. I had to actually build another little clay factory in here just to make more flower pots because I keep using them in every build now. It's so much fun. So we have a lot of decorations and artwork. I added some shelves here to kind of disguise the scaffolding. I like using either scaffolding or ladders in small builds just because stairs take up so much room in small builds, and rather than use up that room, I'd rather just use a ladder or a scaffold. So this is our upstairs area with a couple beds and lots of bookshelves. I wanted lots of bookshelves in this one. It just seems like the perfect place to curl up with a good book and look over the gardens and everything. So let's head back down through our seating area and we can come to the back patio. And again, I added a lot of greenery and moss and flower pots and some natural lighting with the glowberries. I love how it turned out with all the greenery and everything's kind of overgrown. And back here we have a seating area and some more flower pots. And it's just a nice place to come out here and sit and relax. So it's a perfect place to sit out here on our patio and look over the gardens and just have some nice time relaxing out here. And so here's what our patio looks like from this angle. And the upstairs, I really like this overhang and patio area. I think it really helped to break up this solid wall and give it so much more fun detail and make it look like somebody can actually live out here. It's great. So that's our build for today. I had so much fun building out here in Octo Isle. Thank you to Cujo for inviting me. This town is just so beautiful. They have so much beautiful architecture with the Mediterranean style builds, with the vineyards and the different builds, and there's builds out by the ocean and builds up on these hills. It's such a fun town to build in. So thanks, Cujo, for inviting me out here. I really enjoyed it. And if you play Minecraft, go ahead and log in to nerd.nu and you can see all these builds and visit all these towns. It'd be great to have you. So that's our build for today. Thank you so much for joining me. My name's Grenbug, and we'll see you next time.